It's me, Becky, the Services Librarian here at the Longview Public Library, and today I'm going to show you our December craft packet, Sweater Dog. To make this craft, you'll need your packet, which you can pick up at the lower floor desk of the library. You'll also need from home a pair of scissors. I find tape to be useful. I prefer masking tape, but what I have right now is office tape. Whichever tape you have will work. And then also for fun, if you have like sequins or jewels and some glue, you might add that in the mix as well. In your craft packet, you'll get the supplemental slip, which has the books I'm recommending today, the words to the songs and rhymes we'll be learning, and a literacy tip. You'll also get your cardboard die-cut dog and an assortment of small bundles of yarn. Sweater Dog is a weaving project, so for this first step you may need a grown-up to help you with it. We are going to cut little notches on either side of our long dog, and that will help us to create the loom that we're weaving this onto. So I'm going to start at his paw. And I'm going to cut little notches, I'd say about 1/4 inch apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cuts on one side, and then you want the cuts to be basically in the same places on the other side. And you will have to go around his little tail. Once the notches are cut, then you're going to take some of your yarn, and you might have both this kind of like wavy homespun looking yarn and this traditional straight yarn. Use one of the straight yarns. It will make it a lot easier for you. This part, also the color doesn't matter so much because you won't really see it once you have done the weaving. So you're going to start at one of the 4 corners, and you're going to notch this here. This is where the tape comes in handy, to just tape the end of your yarn down on the back side of your little dog. And then you're going to take this and go across to the other notch and notch it there, and then do not go back. You want to just go back underneath that notch to the front again. So at the end, on the back side of your dog, there won't be any yarn crossing. It'll only cross on the front. And then you do directly across, and then over, and then you cross back. Notch it and cross back, notch it and cross back. And that is the hardest part. Now at the end here, you can just cut the excess yarn. And again, if you just want to tape your yarn on the back, and that makes sure it just stays out of your way and it stays on your dog when we get to the weaving part. So now that we're weaving, we're going to take one of our other little yarn bundles, and I like to make a, Jacob, what is it called?
Aglet?
An aglet. I like to make an aglet using a piece of tape. That just makes it like a little bit easier to weave. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then, we're going to get started. So you just go under one, over, the next under, over, under, under, and then you draw it through. I'm going to draw all the way through. There's a couple things you can do with this. You can notch it back on one of these, and you can tape it on the back side like we did with the others. If you're a really confident weaver, you can just kind of leave it hanging there because it'll eventually become tight enough that you won't have to really worry about it anymore. And then, so we ended going under, so we're gonna go back, but we're gonna go over now. So it's going the opposite. So we'll start over, under, over, under, over. And I like to go through all of them and then just pull it through all of the way rather than pulling it through each string. And then you don't want to pull it too tight. That makes it, pulls his shirt up, his belly. You want to leave it loose enough that it covers his whole doggy self. But you do want to scrunch it like with your fingers to the edge. And then you go back. So I was over on the last one. So I'll go under, over, under, over, under. And pull it through again. And again, pull it through, but not too tight. You might even leave it a little bit loose at the top to make sure it covers his back. And pull it tight to the edge, or scooch it tight to the edge. And you just keep going. You can go until you run out of this color and then switch colors, or you can switch and create like a pattern that you like. And once you're all done, if you want to add, make it like an ugly Christmas sweater, you can add jewels or sequins and make it really fun. So at the end, you'll have a dog in a sweater that looks like this. And you can use it as a bookmark. I think that's a really fun use for it. Or as a little ornament or just a decoration for the winter. I have 6 books to recommend today. And it's always hard to just pick a handful of dog books because there's so many really good ones. This first one is called Home is Where the Heart Is. And it's the first in a series called Good Dog. And this is like a beginning chapter book series. We have them in our EJ's collection, and we also have this in our J read-along section. So this is shelved next to the audiobooks because it has a built-in audiobook player in it. So you can just turn it on and listen along as you read. It plays through the speaker, or there's like a little headphone jack here too. And this is from the perspective of this dog. His name is Bo, and he lives on a farm, and it's kind of like a slice of life story about his adventures. He rolls in the mud, he needs a bath. It's really cute. This next book is called Stella, and it's a middle grade novel, so for kids in the upper grades of elementary school. It's by McCall Hoyle, and it's about a dog named Stella, and this is also from the perspective of the dog. And she was trained as like an explosive detection dog, but at the beginning of the story, she fails to detect an explosive, and there is an explosion. And she is retired, and she ends up getting adopted by this family, but her training can sense like something that's different about the girl that she lives with. And she's trying to find out a way to communicate that to the family, that there's something wrong that she could help them with. This book is another middle grade one. This one's in verse, which means it's written like poems. And it's called Something Like Home by Andrea Beatriz Arango. And it's about a girl who can't live with her parents anymore. So she goes and she lives with her aunts and is kind of having a difficult time adjusting to that. But then she finds a puppy, and she believes that if she can train this puppy to be like a service dog or therapy dog for her, then she'll be able to stay with her parents again. So it can be kind of difficult, but it's a very sweet, very touching story about a girl and a dog. This is a nonfiction title that I really loved. It's called A Dog in the Cave, The Wolves Who Made Us Human. It's by Kay Frydenborg. And this one is another middle grade one. If you have really like a lot of interest in the history of dogs and their relationships with humans, this is like a really good fun one to explore. It talks about all of the science that we know about dogs and the relationships dogs have with humans, and like the historical evidence we have about how long we've been cohabitating with dogs. It's really, really interesting stuff. And then 2 picture books. This first one is called Hot Dog by Doug Salati. It's a Caldecott Award winner from a couple of years ago, and maybe just last year actually. It's about this dog who lives in the city. In the summer, it's really hot, hot, hot. And one day it goes with its human to the beach to have a very nice, cooler day. And a lot of this book is very little text, lots of pictures, and lots of kind of almost comic book-like panels, which take you through this dog's day to the beach and then back home to the city where it is cooler again because it's nighttime. And the last book I have to recommend is called Every Dog in the Neighborhood. It's by Philip C. Stead, with pictures by Matthew Cordell, both award-winning picture book writers and illustrator. And it's a really, really fun story about Lewis and his grandma, and he really would like a dog, and grandma says there's plenty of dogs in the neighborhood already, and he says, well, how many are there? And they don't know. So he writes a letter to the city, and the city says, well, we don't know how many dogs live here. And so he has this conversation with his grandma that sometimes if you want to know something, you just have to do the work yourself. And so he starts doing like a census, and he's going door to door throughout the neighborhood, asking people if they have a dog. And what ends up unfolding is he does meet a lot of dogs, but he also learns a lot about dogs people have had in the past and the way that they can kind of stay with people, and meets all of these new friends in the neighborhood. And one of the fun things about this picture book is that not in the text, but behind in the pictures, there's a second story going on where the grandmother is building a dog park in the neighborhood for all of the dogs that they meet. It's a really, really great one for dog lovers. I have 2 songs and rhymes for you today. The first one is called 1, 2, 3, Doggy's Gotta Flee. And it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, doggy's gotta flee, doggy's gotta flee, and now it's on me. 1, 2, 3, doggy's gotta flee, doggy's gotta flee, and now it's on me. It's on my nose, it's on my toes, it's on my ear, it's over here, it's on my thumb, it's on my thumb. 1, 2, 3, doggy's gotta flee, doggy's gotta flee, and now it's on me. 1, 2, 3, doggy's gotta flee, doggy's gotta flee, and now it's on me. Our next one is a classic nursery rhyme called This Old Man. It goes, this old man, he played one. He played knick-knack on my thumb with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. This old man, he played 2. He played knick-knack on my shoe with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. This old man went rolling home. This old man, he played 3. He played knick-knack on my knee with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. This old man went rolling home. And you can count up to 10. I'm here with my storytime friend Monty for our literacy tip for this packet. For kids who are reading on their own, reading aloud to a dog or another pet is a great way to create a love of reading. Dogs are notoriously judgment-free and can help a child build their reading confidence. A study from the University of California even showed that reading to your dog can improve reading fluency. The benefits work both ways. Reading aloud to a dog can help them feel more calm and is a great way to build that human-animal connection with your pet. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoy making your sweater dog and reading some dog stories this winter. We've got a big event coming up here at the library. Our annual snowball is Tuesday, December 17th at 5:30 p.m. And this year we're doing a Candyland theme. Costumes are encouraged. I hope to see you guys then, and I hope you have fun with your sweater dog craft. Bye!